I just saw TikTok by a librarian, and I was just taken back to a time I don't want to think about. So I'll tell you about it. It was 2000. I was in the 6th grade. My teacher was Miss Calloway, and it was towards the end of the year. And I decided I was ready to take a reading renaissance or accelerated reading test. So in the classroom, I went to the computer and I took my test and I failed it. I don't know what I made. I think it was like a 40, but I failed it. So Miss Calloway took it upon herself to punish me. She punished me for failing a test that had no significance in my future. Okay? How did Miss Calloway punish me? Now, this was the early morning hours. Okay, this is really early. Like right there. Like 10 o'clock or something. And she said, you know what? Go sit in the library. That's how I was punished. Isolation. So I hauled my butt to the library and just sat there. And then I watched my class go to lunch. Then I watched my class go back from lunch. Then I heard them at recess. What am I doing? Just sitting there. The librarians knew that I was being punished. Did they tell anybody? No. So what did they just do? They just let me sit there. Alone. What did the principal do when she walked by for the 4th time and seeing me sit there all day? Why is she in here? And by the way, this is at the end of the day. I've been sitting there from 10 till 2. Not a long time, but I wasn't given lunch and I wasn't allowed to go to the bathroom. I was just to sit there and twiddle my thumbs. So Miss McBride said, why is she sitting here all day? Oh, she failed an AR test. Excuse me? Do what now? This child has been sitting here for hours because she failed a test. So I was taken to the principal's office and I said, look, go back to class. I will have this handled. So like I said, this is right at the end of the day. I had been sitting there for hours. I was starving. And my mom comes through to pick me up, and oh, Jesus, have mercy on Miss Calloway and them librarians. Because, oh my God, Miss McBride is the best thing that ever happened to that school. Okay? Best thing ever. So our Miss McBride, who doesn't actually stand in the area of pickup, was standing in the area of pickup. What did she do? She personally put me in the car. Why? Oh, there was an incident today, and do not worry, it will be handled. So my mother thinks I've done something outrageous. And she said, what did you do? I said I failed an AR test. Then what did you do? I said, Miss Calloway sent me to the library. For what? Punishment. For how long? I didn't count the hours. I said, since 10 o'clock. What do you mean since 10 o'clock? So my mom had to go to the principal's office the next day with me. And Miss McBride's words. The librarians and Miss Calloway were drug over the coals for that one. I mean, I can see being upsetty spaghetti about a kid failing a test, but a freaking reading test that had no significance to the future of that child, and to punish them for 10, 11, 12, 1, 4 hours and make them miss lunch over a damn reading test? Whew. Miss Calloway never did that again. And for like 8-9 years after, I would see the librarians in the store, and man, did they avoid me. Yeah. So let that be a warning to people. If you fail, if your child fails a test and you punish them by sending them to one room for an entire day for failing a test, it will not end well for you. I guarantee you, Gail Calloway remembers me. Hi. And I liked her. I thought she was a great teacher. But damn, she never did that again. Okay, last night on TikTok, I told a story. I'm going to give you 2 words, see if you can figure what I was talking about, and I want to hear your side of it. The library.
Would that be when you was at Musgrave?
So what is your version of the library incident?
Well, the principal, as I was doing the drive-through to pick her up, the principal put her in the car.
And she didn't only go out there, did she?
No. And I kind of thought that was strange in itself, but anyway. She said, there was a situation today. I handled it. You can come in the morning and we'll go over it and discuss it. Okay. So Elizabeth told me I'm coming home. What happened? She failed her AR reading book test. She made a couple of 50s. Teacher didn't like it. So she made her go to the library.
The way I say it, I was punished for failing a test that had no, direct result in my future.
Yeah. Wasn't like she was going to be held back because of AR.
That was in the morning, too. I took it in the morning.
Yeah. So she was supposed to stay in the library, and the librarian sat there and watched her, and she said that she was looking and watching all the children come in and out of the library. The librarian didn't think that was what she needed to do. So she put her in a little room.
I forgot that part.
That had very little windows in it to make sure she didn't watch all the children.
Now, I do remember seeing them walk to lunch, because they made me miss lunch. I was there all day. I remember watching them go to lunch and come back to lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about, I thought it was 10 o'clock. It might have been earlier in the morning when I failed that test and I got punished for it. But yeah, she sent me to the library. Then I forgot about the secluded part. I was in solitary confinement. I mean, I was.
I guess.
It was punishment for failing a test.
But anyway, so the next morning, the principal talked to me and talked to the teacher.
Oh.
And told me before that she got there, the teacher was reprimanded for it.
Now, this was her Miss Calloway's first year teaching. I used her name. I don't care.
Yeah. It was. And they don't know nothing. They know nothing when they get started teaching. That's that's a learned thing.
But punishing a child by sending them to the library for an unspecified amount of time.
If she had been sent for an hour, even 2 hours, that would have been fine. But not as long as she was there.
I was there all day, punished for failing a test, and it wasn't right because I was starving. They made me miss lunch, but it was just. Even a new teacher should know you don't send a child to a library to sit for hours, and then the librarians, they got in trouble. I'm wanting to think Miss McBride saw me in there.
I don't know how it come about that it was found out she was in the library.
Because I want to think that she walked by and kept seeing me in there. Because I wasn't reading. I was just sitting there.
Oh, I know.
I was bored. I mean, I was there from what? Let's say 9 o'clock. 10, 11, 12, 1. I was there for 5 hours. Just sitting there, being punished. TikTok. Making a video. But that was just unnecessary punishment for the crime. So.
Yeah, the punishment didn't fit the crime.
And the librarians got in trouble. Oh, they got in trouble.
We don't post anything online.
But,
Because I have to rebuttal.
it was just like seeing the librarians in Bilo the years later, they wouldn't look at me. Wouldn't they? They didn't like me no more. And that was my last year there. Thank you, Jesus. But after that, Miss Calloway got her butt straightened out.
She did. She got in trouble for it.
She's still teaching, and I hope she does well, but she'll never forget me.
No,
And those librarians will never forget me.
no. Mrs. Brown won't either.
They got in trouble.
And that was her first year.
That was Miss McBride's first year. Because we had Mr. Larry Leisure with the black hair and the yellow notepad.
Nobody ever knew what color his hair was going to be.
But yeah.
All right. Gotta go.